Okay, folks, we're going to get started. First and foremost, thank you all so much for being here this evening. For those of you who are attending in person, we know it is very cold and we appreciate you venturing out. It sounds like there's a little bit of technical issues at the Info Center, so they are getting a speaker to make it a little bit easier to hear, but hopefully we'll be okay until then. So if you are here tonight for the special meeting, thank you for that. As you know, we don't typically hold a meeting in December, but we received this application and waiting until our January meeting would have pushed things past the 45-day timeline that these applications operate on between the neighborhoods and the area commission. So we've got our special meeting tonight. And also because of the scale of this project, it is more reasonable to have a special meeting so more folks can attend if they would like to hear information and share their thoughts. So without further ado, we will get started. We'll go ahead and do our treasurer's report and just some normal upkeep and sharing information after this presentation since we're all gathered here. But we'll kick right off with our presentation. This is for 1981 South High Street. If you're familiar with our normal meetings, we're going to do things a little looser tonight again, since this is a bit bigger project. So rather than just doing 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, we'll ask those who are presenting tonight to share about this update for about 5 to 10 minutes, give us a full scope of the variances that are being requested, and of course the fact that a rezoning is also requested. Feel free to share your screens, obviously, as you're presenting, and then we will move on to question and answer, and we'll do that more as a flow as well, so folks have a chance to ask their questions. If you have any general comments you want to share, we'll take those at the end just to pass them along to the area commission. You can also feel free to share them in chat anytime, and I'll be posting in chat for everyone virtual a link to vote if you are a current Merion Village Association member with voting rights. And if you're in the info center, you can scan the QR code to access the ballot. So who do we have presenting this evening?
Hi, my name is Eric Zartman, attorney for the applicant.
Okay, great. Eric, take it away.
All right, great. I'm gonna try to share my screen. Okay. Can you all see that?
Sure can.
Okay, great. And thank you again for calling this special meeting. We really appreciate it, and very very appreciative. So thank you for that. Um, Good evening, everyone. My name is Eric Zartman. I'm here on behalf of Lotus Company to present a rezoning and companion council variance for the site on your screen located at 1981 South High Street. Some of you may remember me from a couple months ago when I presented a council variance application on the same site for the same applicant. The purpose of that application was to request apartment residential uses to be permitted on this manufacturing zone district. The purpose of that was to gain entitlements so that the applicant could apply for both Ohio Fair Housing Authority bonds and grants. And part of that was supported by the community groups and then ultimately approved by City Council. Part of that is we follow up after that's approved with a full rezoning and variance application, which is what I'm here to present to you today. Um, now we're here with a specifically designed plan with specific variances, which you will see tonight. Okay. The site is 14.7 acres in area, and is mostly vacant today and was an industrial yard and railroad related uses historically. It's everything in the purple here is manufacturing district. So the site is currently zoned M manufacturing. And our request tonight is to rezone that site to ARO, which is apartment office, which allows both multifamily uses and office uses. This is the current Southside land use plan, which recommends industrial uses for the site. However, the city of Columbus is in the process of developing new land use plans across the city as part of the zone in phase two. And this site, everything in this kind of gray colorish here, is proposed to draft land use plan recommends mixed use 3, which would allow pretty much every single use, unlimited residential density, and a max height of 8+ stories. So we expect the zoning phase 2 will likely pass city council at the end of this year, and that the zoning district assigned to it will align with the description that you see with the mixed use 3 land use plan. The site that we're looking at is within this red boundary in the south. It's the north corner, but it's turned sideways. So this rezoning is kind of like the first step in the larger proposed vision for Steelton Village. This is just a concept plan. I'm going to show you the detailed site plan after this, but this is a general vision for the area, and this will be kind of the first development point, the anchor for the rest of the new development that will be proposed to occur to the south. Um, so this is a unique development point in the city of Columbus, and it's kind of a transition area from legacy industrial into the city's vision for mixed use neighborhood and development, and that with residential communities, adaptive reuse, and retail of small businesses, new public streets, trails, and linear parks. So everything inside of the red squares, or the red outlines, what we're presenting today. And I think the next page is the site plan. Yes, here's the site plan. Okay, so this is kind of unique in that there's two sub areas for the variances. One is this smaller piece right here, if you can see my cursor, and then this other larger piece. The reason that this is done in two pieces is because, per the request of the Department of Traffic Management, this is going to be a public road that goes through our site and will also continue through the other future phases of the Steelton Village. And the fact that a public road is kind of running through the middle of the site is one of the main reasons for a lot of the variances that we're going to go through in detail later. So we'll go through that later. This proposal is for, let's see, I believe it's five apartment buildings providing 455 apartments. These buildings are 5 and 6 stories. It will also have a new public street network that I just described, and along with that, new sidewalks, street trees, urban frontage design, and high quality materials with the building, including brick masonry, fiber cement, and panel systems. So this is a urban residential project consistent with the mixed use 3 framework, with the forthcoming zone in phase 2 plan. So we're seeking rezoning from manufacturing to ARO for both of these sub areas. And what that allows is the proposed uses that of apartment residential and also other office uses within the buildings themselves. We believe the ARO is appropriate district for this mid-rise development, multifamily development, and it creates predictable residential appropriate standards. It aligns with the proposed mixed-use 3 land category, and it supports the city's intention to transition this corridor into a mixed-use and housing supportive development. Next couple slides are going to be the proposed elevations. As part of the council variance that we're requesting, these elevations are going to be part of the ordinance. So these are going to be commitments as part of the legislation should it be approved, including the design, the height, and the proposed materials. Okay, moving on to the companion council variance. We're asking for a number of companion area variances to allow the development as proposed. Um, Key requests include reduced building setbacks to allow buildings along the street with recessed parking, parking setback adjustments so that the parking sits behind the buildings rather than the front, vision clearance adjustments inside the new street grid, and also a parking reduction variance for the site. There are not any density variances because the ARO district allows unlimited density, which aligns with the mixed use 3 land use plan. Um, so, sorry, Xander, Xander, come here, come here. Sorry about that. Um, sorry, I lost my place. These variances let us create urban sidewalks and street frontage, internalized parking, building a compact street network, reducing impervious surfaces, as well as implementing development pattern the city of Columbus is planning for this corridor. I'm going to scroll down. Quiet. I'm going to scroll down and go. This is the list. Are you able to read this list, or let me try to blow it up a little bit? So parcel 1, it was the smaller parcel on the southeast side, and then parcel 2 is the larger parcel. So parcel 1, it's so small that it doesn't have any area for any parking within it. So all the parking associated with the residential uses on parcel 1 are going to be parking on parcel 2. And so these are going to be separate parcels in the eyes of the city and the county. So technically, there will not be any parking on parcel 1, even though there will be parking available for the residents of those units. So the first variance is to reduce the required number of parking from 143 to 0. The second is concerns the dumpster area. Let me flip back a little to the site plan. Dumpsters are required to be behind the building, but from public streets. But as you can see, parcel 1 has 3 public streets on it. And this is because of the new public street that we're dedicating to the city. If that public street were not there, we would, and the dumpster is proposed, see, to the west of the building. This is sideways. If there were no public street there, then we wouldn't need to be requesting that variance. But because there is a public street, the only area for the dumpster to be is along this internal road. So the next variance we're asking for is to allow the dumpster to not be to be allowed within the required building setback. And the third variance for that is to reduce the building line from 25 feet to 2 feet from the new public street. Again, this is if it was a private street or a private drive, we wouldn't need to be asking for that variance, but because it's a public street, we do. For the next parcel, the first variance is to request for a reduction of perimeter parking lot screening. I'm gonna switch back to the back and forth between the site plan. So that is along these areas of both this new private internal street network, and then also along the eastern perimeter, which is that railroad. And then High Street is pretty far off. So the request to reduce headlight screening around the parking lot is there really isn't going to be anyone affected by that variance request. It's both because of the new public road, and also there aren't any other neighbors around except for our property ourselves. We're trying to the reason we're reducing the parking in part is because we're trying to maximize as much parking as we can on the site. On the far north corner here, it's a flood area, and we are going to be pretty much we can't use it, so we're going to be putting a park there, but it limits the available parking that we can provide. And so by reducing the having a variance to reduce the headlight screening, that gives us some more area to provide more parking spaces as possible. And that goes hand in hand with the reduction of the parking setback line, which is the second one here. Third, to reduce the required number of parking from 540 to 416. Vision clearance. These are again, because these are public streets. These require vision clearance triangles at all of these drive aisles. However, practically speaking, there will not be any public people really using this site other than the residents of this development. And again, if this was a private drive aisle rather than a public street, these would not be requiring vision triangles at these parking lot driveways. Line front yard. And then lastly, we're requesting reductions of building line along this new public street, and then also a perimeter yard reduction at this little corner down here with the parts line. Trying to looks like there's going to be a park on the other side of this building where we're asking for the reduction. So that reduction should not really impact anyone as well. Yeah, let's look at variances. All right, so we really are excited about this project, and we'll think it will kick off really drive some economic development in this area. New housing options, including units that are going to be eligible for affordable. As I was discussing earlier, we're asking for OFA bonds, which means that part of this development is going to be providing low-income housing options for some of the tenants. Along with this development, instead of vacant, unused manufacturing district, we're going to have a new development with new parks, new trees, stuff like that. So we really think it's going to improve the look of the site as well. It's a good use of an obsolete industrial land. It will contribute to the walkable urban block pattern that we're expecting to develop in this area. And it's also is a significant reinvestment in the South Corridor. One last thing. So as I was discussing about phase 2 zone in, we are expecting that this site will be rezoned either late this year or early next year, which would allow all these things that the uses, the height, the density that we're asking for now. However, the applicant knows exactly the project that they want to do, which is what we just presented, and they would like to get going going through the process of development. So that is why we're presenting this to you today, asking your favorable recommendation rather than waiting till the end of this year or next year to start getting going. I think that's it. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. And if you can just leave your screen share up. Oops, sorry about
Oh,
that.
okay.
Just in case anybody has any questions and we need to kind of call back to either a variance or an item with questions, that can just be helpful for folks. So if you have any questions, please either use the hand raise feature if you're joining us through Zoom. If you're in the info center, we can obviously unmute and you can ask your questions there as well. And then we'll just kind of go through. And then Eric, please feel free to just go ahead and answer the questions as they come in so that we can keep things flowing. All right. No hands raised in Zoom yet. Info Center, we've got something there, David.
Can you see me or hear me, Jess?
Oh, hi. Yes, I can. Really quickly at the Info Center, you guys don't have audio coming through to us. We can't hear you. So I'm gonna move on to David and then hopefully we can circle back. Okay, go ahead, David.
I just wanted to say I've been tied up at another meeting here downtown, so I'm grateful to Eric for stepping in and pitching in. But in conjunction with him, I'm also on hand to conclude the presentation and answer and help field any of the questions that come up.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, circling back to the info center. Do you have some questions there?
I was just going to suggest, to make it a little bit easier, could we try to maybe do all the questions from online people and then all the questions from the info center, so we don't have to go back and forth?
Yep,
So if
absolutely.
we have any questions, let's wait to give them a chance first.
Okay, perfect. So far we don't have any hands raised on Zoom, so just anyone attending for Zoom, does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask before we move over to folks at the info center? Okay, nothing raised. That doesn't mean you can't circle back, but we will move over to info center. And just a quick heads up, if you're all ready to vote, you can use the link in chat if you're joining us for Zoom, or of course at the info center, you can scan that QR code to cast your ballot if you're ready to do so. No rush though. There's still plenty of time for questions. So David, don't have any questions on my end, so we can move over to info center questions. You guys are
Okay, we have one here.
Okay, go right ahead.
Between the two proposals that you have submitted, there's a request to reduce the number of required parking spaces by approximately 450 spots. Where are you assuming that there are still going to be those 450 cars that are going to need to find a parking space? And if so, where do you propose that those people are going to park?
So, Eric, what are you able to recite the exact number of spaces that we are requesting here?
Yeah, I'll look it up. That sounded right though. So,
And I know it's split into two sites, but is it possible, Eric, do you have a total number of parking spaces required across both parcels, and then also a total number of reduction that you're seeking across both parcels, so that everyone can kind of understand the big picture as part of this?
Yeah. So as Eric is looking at that, it's a great question, and I'm sure that most of you, or probably all of you here, have somewhat paid attention to what the city has been doing with zoning. It's always kind of baffled me how this site was excluded from Zone N Phase 1. All of the property up to the north was included. Everything south of 104 was included, and this property was somehow not. One of the things that the city has acknowledged is that historically, our parking requirements have paved paradise and put up parking lots, and so they have required really way too many parking spaces than are actually used at most places. The expectation is that this development has 100% of these units at 60% of AMI. We are on or very near the bus line running up and down 23. So it's our expectation that there will be a fair number of people here who do not have cars. And, these folks are in the business of renting apartment units, and an unhappy tenant is somebody that doesn't renew their lease. They're an experienced group, and they are confident that the number of parking spaces that they're providing here, in addition to the on-street spaces that are being created, which we can't count towards our parking, that there will be adequate parking facilities here to serve the development.
and here are those numbers for you. So this is at a parking ratio of 1.5 parking spaces per dwelling unit. So there are there's a requirement. Sorry, I spoke too soon. I forgot to add one thing.
It says total building parking required 684 and provided 416. Is that correct?
So the total there's 455 total units, which would require 683 parking spaces at 1 per dwelling unit, or 1.5 per dwelling unit, and we're providing 416 across both. So that is a reduction of 267. So in short, that's 540 dwelling units provided, and then 416 parking spaces total required or provided.
To the folk, I'm sorry, the gentleman who asked that question, did that answer your question about parking, sir?
That answer your question? Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, additional questions? All right.
Could
None
you
from
speak a little bit more to the, I know this area is targeted to transition from manufacturing to mixed use. But how far west, I suppose, is the area in purple? Is that to remain manufacturing? And if so, you know, what kind of transition or buffer will there be between those manufacturing uses?
Can you,
I'll look that
Eric,
up right now.
yeah, pull that up, please. So as he's pulling that exhibit up, everything up to the north and some of the land over to the west is going to become a park. There have been ongoing discussions with the property owners here, with the developer, with Columbus Recreation and Parks, and also with the Metro Parks to create that new park space there on the north side and the west side. Moving down to the south, that is an extension of this of the Fort project. It's not included in this zoning, but the expectation is that all of that veer away from the manufacturing district and go more towards a commercial mixed use opportunity there as opposed to the manufacturing that's there. And that's almost the entirety of the property over there that that they control. They have not been able to buy all of it, but they own most of it.
And then to answer your question here,
I don't think they've been able to get control of the adult club that's down there. That property they haven't been able to buy that yet.
and then to answer your question, I have the that proposed land use plan up, and the color you were asking about is the future recommendation for it is going to be industrial and warehouse. So everything in that that purple color you're asking about. And then this was that mixed use 3 that we were under. And then this peach is community activity center. So that was phase 1. It's already zoned under the phase 1, the community activity center.
What's the paint color, Eric?
It's phase 1 community activity center. So like let's see, 5 to 7 stories with an affordability component, and then pretty much all those same uses, mixed uses that we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
I'm just going to read 2 comments that we have in chat. These say, not a question, but a comment. Really looking forward to seeing this project and how it will help develop the area. And the second is, I do not have a question, but I want to mention I'm excited to see more development in the area. And I think having fewer parking spaces as we look to infill and create appropriate level mixed use density is a good thing. So those are the 2 comments we had from chat that I just wanted to share.
I'll share a thumbs up to those comments.
Anyone else have any questions, or please feel free at this point if you also have comments to share those. And then again, if you are a current member of the Merion Village Association with voting rights, please go ahead and cast your ballot whenever you are ready. I've seen several votes come through, but want to make sure we capture everyone's. Okay. Looks like that might be it for questions then. So in that case, if you have not yet voted, please do so. We'll just give everybody here a couple of minutes to get your ballots in. And then I'll just do a quick check before I read out the results. And just a reminder, we will review the votes afterward just to make sure that everyone did have voting privileges tonight. And then once we've verified that, we will send our official vote counts over to the Area Commission for their meeting and for them to pass along to the City of Columbus.
While that's happening, I'll make another public thank you to my colleague Eric Zartman, who regularly saves my life and was able to step in and pitch in and conduct most of this meeting for me tonight. So thank you, Eric.
Thanks.
See what we have here, folks. All right, we've got a total of 9 votes in. Does anybody need some more time? Okay, all right, let me go ahead and get these refreshed so I can get all the current information. Just going to do a quick scan to see if we have any variation across the votes. Okay, we've got some variation, so I'm going to be reading everything out individually. First and foremost, for the rezoning of the site from M Manufacturing to ARO Apartment Office, we have 9 votes in support, none opposed, and no abstentions. Moving on, these are the 3 items for parcel 1. So I'm just going to read the numbers for those. So section 1, which is the parking, we have 8 in support and 1 opposed. We have for number 2, 9 in support. This is for the dumpster area. And for number 3, which is the building lines, we have 9 in support, none opposed. Moving on to parcel 2, item 1, perimeter parking lot screening, we have 8 in support and 1 opposed. Number 2, which is the parking setback line, we have 9 in support and none opposed. Number 3, which is required parking, we have 8 in support and 1 opposed. Number 4, which is vision clearance, we have 9 in support and none opposed. Number 5, which is building lines, we have 9 in support, none opposed. And number 6, perimeter yard, we have 9 in support and none opposed. So across the board, all of those items pass our recommendation process. So we will certainly be turning that over to the Area Commission for their next process. And yes, in general, thank you all so much for being here tonight. Presenters, I know that this time of year is always a little hectic, so we appreciate you coming in for a special meeting. For those of you who are here for not just this presentation, stick around, we're not finished yet, but we do appreciate your presentation, and please send us updates, keep us in the loop with the project, and how it progresses. Since this is so big, I'm sure folks would love to hear more of it.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
do.
you. Thank you for the special meeting as well. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks, folks.
All right, bye.
Have a great evening. All right, everyone. Thank you again for participating in that and joining us. We'll just share a few more updates since we're all gathered here and we have that opportunity. So first and foremost, our treasurer was not able to join us tonight, so we don't have a readout of his report. We will, of course, publish that to our website, and we'll also be able to go over it and answer any questions at our January meeting if any folks have any questions about that. Board and committee vacancies. So this is just a reminder that we do have some roles to fill here at the MVA. First and foremost, we'll talk about the zoning chair, which would be someone that would be handling something similar to what we did tonight. Our previous zoning chair, Tate, and his family did move out of the neighborhood, so he's no longer able to fill that role, and we are very eagerly looking to fill it as it is a very important role with so many developments happening. You just need to be a member of the association, and that is an appointed role, so you don't need to run for election. You just have to be interested in the zoning process and be willing to help coordinate all of that. So we would love to hear from you. If that's something you're interested in doing, you can feel free to email us, just mvaboard@merionvillage.org, or even zoning@merionvillage.org, whatever's easier for you to remember. But we're very eager to fill that role so that we don't have to scale back any of our zoning processes if we aren't able to fill it. So if you have any questions about it, also feel free to ask. But primarily, this just involves coordinating with the folks who have applications in, putting some information on our website so everyone knows what's coming, distributing notices to the local folks, and then, of course, coordinating the meeting processes. So, okay. Now, board vacancies. So as of January 1st, we will officially have vacancies for both the vice president and the treasurer role. In order to serve on the board, you do need to be a current member of the association and you do need to live within the bounds of Merion Village. Those are elected positions, so as long as you complete the nomination form at least 14 days before the next scheduled regular meeting, you'll be able to be announced at that next meeting and then on a ballot the following. I'm just going to post a link to that if that's something that you are interested in. We'd certainly love to have you join us. It is definitely important to have our board filled so that we can make sure that everyone is being represented and that all of the tasks of the board are able to be completed timely and to the best of our abilities. So we appreciate anyone that has interest in those areas. Tell your neighbors. If you know someone that you think would be a good vice president or a good treasurer, please send them our way. Let's see here. Moving on, we won't have any committee updates for you specifically this evening. We'll circle back to those in January. So things like beautification, membership, zoning, social, we'll have updates for you as we start the new year. Southside Area Commission updates. Do we have any commissioners joining us this evening that would like to share an update?
Yes, I'm here. I don't have any updates to share.
Hey, that's good enough. At least we know there's nothing to share right now. Thank you for that. All right, let's see here. So let's talk about upcoming events. Obviously, the most important one I'll talk about is our annual potluck, which is in just 2 days. So normally the potluck replaces the December meeting, but this year we get both, which is very apropos for our 40th anniversary, where everything is bigger. The potluck is going to be held at Hey Hey in their back room. That is going to be on Friday, December 5th from 6 to 8 p.m. This is always a really great opportunity to just come out, bring your kids, totally family friendly. The bar at Hey Hey will be open for those 21 and over, but this is absolutely a family-friendly event, and we encourage everyone to stop by, even if you can't stay long. If you have not yet RSVP'd and you'd like to join us, it certainly is not mandatory, but it can help us plan and make sure we have enough plates for everyone and have a great variety of dishes. So I'll just post a link there to chat, or you can go to our website if you'd like to RSVP. We have quite a few RSVPs already. I think maybe about 32, which is fantastic. We always love when this event is well attended. I unfortunately cannot make it this year, which is, I think, a first for me. So I am very disappointed, but I know David will certainly be there, and I think Brittany as well. So hopefully you'll get an opportunity to say hi to some of our other board members and meet some new folks if you are maybe new to the neighborhood or if you just haven't been out for a while. And again, thank you to Hey Hey for hosting us. We always appreciate their hospitality, and it's always such a great time. Southside Area Commission has their next meeting on Tuesday, December 16th, starting at 6:30 p.m., and those are held at the Parsons Library. So if you'd like to hear what's going on and get involved in those conversations, they are open to the public. Our next monthly meeting is, of course, Wednesday, January 7th, starting at 7 p.m. Those will be hybrid. We are working on getting a new television for the info center. We possibly have a donation coming to us in the next week or so, which would be wonderful. And then we're looking at some additional things that we can do to help secure that, since we did lose our last TV in an unfortunate manner. So keeping our fingers crossed for that, and hopefully we'll be back to normal hybrid meetings in January, but we do appreciate your patience while we are where we are. And then, of course, our Merion Village Chili Cook-Off will also be held at Hey Hey. They love hosting us, and we love being there. That'll be on Saturday, March 7th. So we always host those now, the first Saturday in March, and it's typically from noon to 2 p.m. The chili cook-offs are actually a fundraiser for our annual scholarship with South High School. And we're going to be doing some different things this year with that scholarship fund, potentially being able to do other positive things in our local schools, even if there aren't necessarily any scholarship applicants, which has happened in the past. So really looking forward to that and kind of kicking off that process as we go into next year. Does anyone, I'm going to open the floor. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? Any questions or comments as we get ready to put a big old bow on 2025? Rachel, please go ahead.
Hi, I just have a question, and this is something that I think the German Village Society posted a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago. Tomorrow, the city of Columbus is looking to clarify their certificate of appropriateness process, or when it is required. So I just didn't know if, I mean, not that it would impact probably Merion Village. But that's just something that I saw, someone told me about it, and I wondered if it was on anyone's radar.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not personally familiar. Is anyone familiar with that or have maybe some additional information about that process?
It wouldn't affect Marion Village. It's just for historic preservation districts.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, yes, and we are not a historic preservation district.
correct. I understand that. I was just giving a heads up if others are interested. I know German Village posted it. And the board meeting, I guess, is tomorrow from 4 to 6 for the public hearing.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share or any questions before we wrap up for the year? Okay. In that case, thank you again so much for being here tonight for a special meeting. Thank you to those who braved the cold, and we really appreciate your time. I wish everyone very safe, happiest holidays. For those of you who will be at the potluck, I hope you have a phenomenal time. And just thank you to everyone again for joining us throughout the year for all of our events. We will certainly love to hear from you if you're interested in helping out with the zoning chair role or potentially joining the board. So please always feel free to reach out and let us know if you'd like to get more involved. Otherwise, everyone have a safe and wonderful evening. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you, Jess.
Bye, folks.